These are my two favourite uses for the Boilie Funnel Web, which is the medium size of funnel web. You know it's Boilie obviously because it says it on the label, but also because it's got a green flash there on the label, and we've matched up the refills to go with it, so you've got a green flash on there. There's a hex mesh and a micro mesh refill for these, and they both come in either 5 metres or 20 metres on a spool. So basically the system comes in a protected cover. Inside it, if you haven't seen it before, you've got your PVA on the inner tube and then the compressor as well. Now the first use was what we originally designed the Boilie Funnel Web for, and obviously as the name suggests, that was Boilie's. What I've got on there is a very, very clever stringer. So what we've basically done, we put 3 baits down the inner tube, pushed them down with the compressor and out the other end, and before I've tied the simple overhand knot to lock the top of that PVA together, I've basically pushed the boilies out of sync like that, so that when I push them back together again, it puts the boilies under even more tension. Then I tie the knot, making sure everything's nice and tight. A second knot, as you always do on the funnel web systems, cut between the two, and your system's ready for another go. And then the PVA string is actually finished, so what I've then done is put the needle through the top boilie. I've used one of these heavy gate latch needles. That's gone through the top boilie, pulled the hair back through, and there I've put the hair stop in to stop the boilie getting off. So that one's permanently attached, that's on the hair, but the other two obviously are not. They're only attached via the PVA. So when that melts, the whole thing's going to explode, and we're going to get a random pattern every single time we cast in. So rather than with a lot of stringers, the boilies are left in a line because the PVA string going through the middle contracts a little bit as it shrinks and pulls all the boilies together. This time, they're always going to spread a different way every time. And that's a great way to stop tangles, and also a great way to have a couple of baits around your hook bait when you're boilie fishing. Very, very underused method that. I know Terry Hearn uses that a hell of a lot when he's boilie fishing, and very, very effective. And then the next use for the Boilie Funnel Web size is the classic PVA stick. Obviously Nick Hellier's invention to begin with, but there are loads of different stick mixes that have come out since then. And this is the one I want to show you now because it's brand new. The Entice from Bait Tech, a very, very meaty ground bait. Perfect as a ground bait. You can ball it out, you can use it as a stick mix, you can use it as a method mix, or to stodge up your spod mix as well. There's liver powder in there, which we all know is a brilliant attractor for carp. There's aminos in there as well, and loads and loads of meaty proteins, which makes it really, really attractive. So that's a brand new product, well worth looking out for. And that's my mix there. What I've basically done is used a little bit of tuna in there to begin with. The stuff I've used is in oil. That's because it's nice and sunny, so the water's very warm at the moment. In the winter, I'd use the stuff in brine. So I've smashed that up, then I've added the Entice to that. And to be honest, that'd be good enough. You know, those two ingredients together are brilliant. With that, I've added some very, very small betaine pellets. And then normally I would get a stick of Pepper Army and then blend it up in the crusher and put that in it. We haven't got any here at the moment, so I've just used the sausage off the barbecue this time, blended that up and put it in there so it's got even more meatiness to it. And a brilliant hook bait to go with that, you can see there, that would normally be a bit of Pepper Army on there. But we haven't got any here, so I've used just the end of a spicy French sausage, which I think would be brilliant as a hook bait. No good on here because there's loads of bream in here, but if you were fishing in a normal carp fishing situation in the UK or in some of the waters abroad where there's not the nuisance fish, that is a brilliant, brilliant combination. So that's the Boilie Funnel Web system. If you use it correctly, it will get you loads more bites.